coast here inside the Pacific Coliseum. James Cybulski, Becky Keller, Chantel Chand bringing you all the action for the Goldeneyes. Close out a 5-game homestand against the Minnesota Frost, the two-time Ultra Cup champs. Maddie Rooney picking up her first shutout of the season, back on a Wednesday victory over the Ottawa Charge. She gets the pipes once again, and at the other end, Kristen Campbell has been locking it down in the absence of Emmerich Mashmeyer, but Mashmeyer could be back sometime on this road trip later this week.
Got the ability to take over games.
Off the draw, Vancouver with possession. They go to work on the forecheck. Here's Izzy Daniel. Scored her first goal of the season just after Christmas against the Frost, and she's been cooking ever since, now with 5 on the year. Here's Sarah Nurse centering feed. Intercepted by Buckbinder. Vancouver still on the work. Here's Nurse stepping out in front. Tied up. Couldn't get a clean shot off. Kept in at the line by Thompson, but they'll call it a glove pass, and we'll get a face-off outside the Minnesota zone.
You start talking about players who have been cooking, and Sarah Nurse is one. She's only been, it's only been less than half a season. She does a really nice job to protect this puck. Just can't quite battle off all those sticks to get a good shot on goal. But you talk about players who have had some highlight reel goals as of late. She is certainly one.
Gabby Rosenthal on the draw with Kelly Connick. That one's handled there by Rooney behind the net. Kendall Cooper having herself a year. I think you could say that about everybody on the Frost, Becky. They are playing so well right now.
You know what? I think they get really good buy-in. And Lee asks certain things of them, and they do exactly what it is that he's asking. So get a really good team game and a lot of skill surrounding that.
It's a recipe for success.
It's a real recipe for success.
Timlerova sitting in front as Britta Kroll-Salemi puts that one just wide. Panic once again. That one's blocked at the line as Madison Bazell. Scrum for it on the wall. Rosenthal comes up with it over to Meixner. Back at that one out to center ice, and we'll get a change from both sides. Here's Sid Morang. Throws that one in. Into the corner. Band on that shot was Abby Hustler. And here come the Goldeneyes. Denisheva up to Gardner, to McMahon. Quickly goes the other way. Thrown back in. Gloved by Rooney. Played behind the net by Buckbinder. Stretch pass. Up at center. Intercepted. Here comes Vancouver. They got numbers on a 3-on-2. Shot deflected wide by McMahon. Kept in by Bard at the line. McMahon ties up her check. There's Venisheva in on the forecheck to help out. Zumwinkle comes up with it and gets the clear. McMahon offside, stopping the play.
Feels like they're headed in the right direction with 10 games left.
Here's Jakes at the line. That one stopped in traffic. Rebound shot by Miller. Turned aside. Here's Claire Thompson working down low once again. Miller back up with it. Tied up by Buckbinder. Throws it around. There's Nurse. Nurse knocked off the puck. And that's cleared out of the zone. Minnesota will get off for a change. Jake's back to play it. Cross ice speed to Miller. Dumps that one in. And that line will go off for a change. As Abby Vereen grinding her way into the corner. Meixner out there with Rosenthal to help her out. They stay on the forecheck. Heisey behind her own net. Off the boards and out. As Shisheva pushed that one up. Shisheva, briefly a member of the Goldeneyes here, Becky.
Well, she spent some training camp time here, and that was about it. She traded for Anna Seghetti, the rookie forward, who got her first goal, PWHL goal against New York on Wednesday. And that one kind of took everyone by surprise to see a trade during training camp.
Intercepted, Vereen shovels that one in. And both sides will get some changes in. Fresh legs out there. Still scoreless in this opening frame. Kroll-Salemi here getting the boo birds here from the Goldeneye faithful.
I don't know if it ever really affects her because she is having a good season.
She has had a strong season.
Lots of talent, lots of grit.
There's Kroll-Salemi battling with Sid Bard. This is a, bouncing puck. Campbell hangs on. This is a very knowledgeable fan base.
And that one looked like it was going to create a little bit of a problem for Kristen Campbell from below the goal line. And Minnesota, who they've been good. They've had some lucky bounces in this stretch as well. As this one pops out front, little tip, little stick on it. And Campbell's got to be sharp, hook on to that post. It's the last thing you want to do early in this game, right, is give up one like that.
Well, Campbell had a strong outing against New York back on Wednesday in that victory. And the hope is that Emrys Mashmeyer could return to the Vancouver lineup. This has to be a strong confidence builder for Campbell after an off season last year there, Becky.
Yeah, it was a tough, especially coming down the stretch in that playoff run for Campbell, but looks like she's got her confidence back, and that could really give Vancouver a good 1-2 punch. Talk about a 1-2 punch when we look at Minnesota and what they've been able to do with their goaltending.
Both Hensley and Rooney, pick your poison. Here's McMahon with it. Finds Gardner. Pushes that one up. Back up to Vanisheva. Oh, I'll tell you what, if Claire Thompson was 6'5", she might have been able to stretch her
She
leg
might have held that
outside.
line. Still 10 games left, but they just barely scraped by the last 2 seasons and then win it all.
I thought you were going to say unfamiliar territory because it's actually sunny for a rare Ken Klee trip. He said for the 15 years he played in the NHL, it almost never was sunny. He said, enjoy this weather.
Well, maybe he brought the sunshine because it certainly wasn't sunny for the first couple days I was here. But
well, all those stars are shining. Yes, it was an atmospheric river here in the city, but it's a gorgeous day, and the crowd has turned out in fine form on Jen Gardner bobblehead night. Still scoreless. Here's Anna Szigeti, had her first of the season on Wednesday in that victory. Here's Anna Shahina also scoring her first as a Goldeneye as well.
All sorts of skill with Shahina. Just working with her off the puck and battling.
Nurse leaves it for Miller. Blocker stopped by Rooney. Here's Nurse again. Shovels it again to Miller. I'll tell you what, we're starting to see Nurse activating Hannah Miller. She's been noticeable as Nurse got knocked down. Rooney hangs on. The fans don't like it.
Well, they may have a case on this one. Nurse gets taken down below the goal line. She can't believe there's no penalty on the play. The official right there explaining to her exactly what she saw. Nurse gets this puck below the goal line, gets that stick in the feet, and down she goes. So not quite sure what the non-call was there. Hannah Miller with the shot on goal. She's been all around it so far this game, reloading high.
Nurse with it again. Shot stopped by Rooney. Nurse is having a shift. Moving on, Rooney will glove that one down, and Goldeneyes are buzzing. Still scoreless. We've played 6 minutes in this one. Frost and Goldeneyes lined up for a good one.
And you break them down into 10 games. Those 3 teams have had a period of time where they've gone on real runs.
So here we go. Let's see how the math goes. Hey, they said there'd be no math in podcasting.
Well, we're just going to fake this math, and we're going to kind of speculate. I'm going to guess of the last 10, you got to win at least 7 of them if you're Vancouver.
Yeah, 100%. Regulation wins would be huge. Here's Steckline. Centering feed. That was deflected. Pearl Salemi and her loud fan base. Back to the line. Steckline puts that one wide. Buckbinder couldn't keep it in. Regroups. Steckline sends it back on in. Frost will go for some fresh bodies. Channel Watkins will play that one behind the net. Plays that up ahead to Jen Gardner. Here comes Gardner. Dumps that one in on the forecheck. Boy, this place would erupt if Gardner could score on her own bobblehead night right in front. Oh, what a chance for Vanisheva. Loose puck, still out there. Vanisheva back with it. Here's Thompson. Thompson, that was blocked. And clears his own. Great play by Katie Knoll. Here's Moray. Flips that one out. Gets it past Jakes and sent down the length of the ice. McMahon back to play it. Claire Thompson, long stretch pass. Miller took a second, sends it back in. Here comes Izzy Daniel. In front of the net.
Oh, you got no goalie in the net and you've sent your D in front.
As Shaggy would say, zoinks.
That might have exactly been the sound I made, James, when that happened.
Ben Klee might have felt the same way, too.
He might have.
Back at the line.
Ben's a former D.
Yeah, he knows. And a responsible stay-at-home D. Oh, great play by Daniel. Good stick work here. Vancouver in transition. The spinorama looking for Nurse. It skipped over her stick. Zumwinkle looking to go the other way. Pursued by Miller.
It's a nice back check. Hannah Miller coming back, picking the stick, creating the turnover.
Here's Sydney Bard. Pushed up ahead to Joe Smith. That was intercepted by Buckbinder, who's back out there, seeing a lot of minutes. Here's Karvinen. The 7th overall selection in the 2025 PWHL draft, but not your traditional first-round pick. 36 years of age, representing Finland on the Olympic stage several times. Sent down the ice, icing the call. Offensive zone face-off win for Anna Szigeti. Minnesota clears that out. Need to apologize to Anna Szigeti for booting her goal call and calling her Anna Spaghetti the other night. So to the entire Szigeti family, that's on me. My apologies. Special moment. Here's Panic. Here's back to the line. Bizzo. And that shot blocked. All right. Sends it right back in. Abby Vereen up with it. Look at this. Here comes Gabby Rosenthal. Knocked off the puck. In transition now. Here's Panic. Got Himlarova and Pearl Salemi. Morin takes a hard whack from Mike's left. There's Pearl. Sends that one. Glove save by Campbell. At this rate, this fan base might lose it if Pearl Salemi gets on the score sheet.
She's getting close to it as they win the battle down in the corner, and she's able to walk out on that seam. So a little bump for separation, and Pearl Salemi comes in. That second layer picks the puck up, walks to the middle of the ice. Campbell sees this one, so easy glove save for her. And Larova is trying to get to the net.
Here comes Noel. Off the draw. Pearl Salemi, Panic, and Heisey. 3 members of the Frost with 20 or more points on the year. Nobody else in the league has a single player with at least 20 points.
And you figure Coyne Schofield would be there had she not gotten injured.
Totally.
She was leading the league before her injury.
Good hustle back there by Claire Thompson. Shisheva hanging on to possession. Here's the Frost going to work on the forecheck. Nurse comes up with it. Good responsible play, kept in at the line by Buckbinder. Sent the other way. Down the length of the ice. Nurse in pursuit. She'll go off for a change. Jen Gardner back out there with Manon McMahon and Teresa Venisheva. All the way down right on Campbell. She swats that one to the side. Pushed up ahead. Venisheva. Little sauce up ahead to Gardner. Just out of her reach. Bard. Oh, had that one poked away by Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle also cooking right now. With goal and assist in back-to-back games.
She's a big, strong player with lots of skill as well. So where she's really dangerous is when she gets in low along the wall.
Shot blocked in front. Dangerous chance there. Step line keeps that in. Physicality here. Oh boy. Right in front, puck bouncing again.
Another bounce off a skater, off a stick, or off of something comes out in front.
You know, Becky, it's funny. I was here at practice yesterday for both teams, and a couple of members of the Minnesota Frost had come off kind of squawking. They didn't like the way the ice had felt at practice. So obviously they've got another day, but the puck has been skipping around here this afternoon. We've played almost 12 minutes. Neither goalie giving up anything just yet. Good chance by Venisheva, but still scoreless. Right behind the net. There's Szigeti back out there. Hooked and hauled and still able to kick the puck up ahead. Cross back up with it though. Budarak centering feed. Here's Cooper. Goes off a body from behind the net, and we're going to get a penalty coming up here. A slashing call, and it looks like it's going to be Michelle Karvinen heading to the sin bin for a 2-minute penalty and a power play opportunity for one of the stronger ones in the league.
Vancouver penalty number 33, 2 minutes, flashing.
Sitting at 17.9% Minnesota, so an opportunity, certainly the personnel on it right there across the hands, so taking away a bit of a scoring chance.
Step line. Down low to Panic. To Heisey. Back to Morin. To Heisey. Down low to Panic in front. Great chance there. And nothing doing for the Frost as it stays out.
There's a hard play to defend because you got Heisey with the puck in an area where she can score goals from, so she attracts some attention, just opens Panic up down low.
Here they go, round two. Heisey down the right side. Lays that to Panic. Shesheva with her. There Thompson comes up with it. Rattles it off the boards and down the ice. Hard off the glass, Keller.
Well, it's certainly on the penalty kill. That's what you're looking for now. This is a Minnesota team with two really good units. I don't know if I like their second unit just almost equally as much as their first unit.
Well, as good and as hot as the Frost have been, we're going to get a whistle, a sign to call. As hot as Minnesota's been, they've been 0 for the last 10 on the power play.
Some of these teams, you figure it's a matter of time. I always said that with Montreal, too, when their power play wasn't good, that it seemed inconceivable.
They're due.
With the personnel they have, they got to get it going, and of course they have so far this season. In Minnesota, the same. It's your second unit. You've got Cooper Power quarterbacking it. She's been very good this year. Batherson on it as well, so 2D on this unit.
They've got 30 seconds to work with as it's sent down the ice. A strong kill through 80% of this power play for the Frost. Sunwinkle. Pearl Salemi took a bump there with Abby Barreen. Tied up in the corner. Down to 12 seconds. Kept in at the line by Buckbinder. For the net. Shot scores! What a shot by Natalie Buckbinder to make it 1-0 Frost on the power play.
Minnesota's able to keep this puck in at the blue line. Nice little chip by Pearl Salemi as she puts this puck in deep, and now they're off. Hustler in on the forecheck to start this. This puck comes back out to Buckbinder. I thought she was going to throw it out front of the net. Maybe everyone else did too. She goes near side, top shelf, just under the crossbar. Just an absolute snipe. She does not have a lot of space. Claire Thompson's coming out to try to get a block on it. She gets past everything.
Eerily similar type goal to the one that Taylor Heisey scored in overtime against the Goldeneyes in that takeover tour game in Edmonton in December. So Minnesota with the 1-goal advantage here with 5:41 to go here in period number 1.
This is one of the things that's made Minnesota so good. It's their depth. You get a goal like that from Buckbinder.
Vanessa Upson knocked off the puck. Sid Bard tried to clear that. Thrown right back in by Morin. Blocker saved by Campbell. Not much Campbell could have done on that. What a goal.
Oh, she certainly picked her spot, didn't she?
That was a C9 puck there. Chipped out by Joke Smith. Buckbinder, stick line. Here's Daniel. Looking for Nurse. That was intercepted. There's that strong neutral zone play from the Minnesota Frost that Ken Klee talked about. Here's Hannah Miller. Trying to leave that. Too many drop passes from this line here, I think. Just got to put the puck on net.
Yeah, you're starting to wonder if maybe you just don't keep things a little bit more simple, especially when you haven't had the puck down there in the last few shifts.
Puck sent down the length of the ice. Batherson will play it. Up to Panic. Panic for Pearl Salemi. And the Bluebirds return. Here's Miller. Comes up with it. With Daniel. Shovels it off the glass and down the ice. Buckbinder's first of the year from Hustler and Pearl Salemi. Is the difference right now in this one on the power play. Jake's battling for with Himlarova. Panic battling in there as well, along with Thompson. Lots of Olympic medalists in that scrum.
Certainly are. 61 players across the league, you know you're going to get it.
Good point.
Just about every team.
There's Morin off the glass. Down the ice it goes. 3:35 to go in period number 1. Fans back into this one. Poked away. Here's Jakes. She's got goals in back-to-back games. In transition, Heisey's got some space down the right side. Shot. Great block by Sydney Bard there. Back the other way. Vancouver on a 3-on-2. Gardner going to the net. Great play. Great stick by Lee Steckline, the veteran. Continues to deliver.
Wow, and that's exactly what she does well. She is a tough customer when you're playing against her. Defensively, she's got that stick, tall, long. She takes away a lot of ice. She shut that to play down quickly.
Just go! Circling. Trips that off the glass and in on the forecheck. Campbell will play that behind the net. Kicks it out a little out of Bard's reach, but there's Jen Gardner with it. Flips that one up. Good game of chess. Shots in favor of the Goldeneyes, 6-5. Here's Cooper. Shot! Glove save by Campbell. Lost up 1-0. Talking to Ken Klee, asking him, said, hey, are there any overtures coming your way? And he basically said, I have made it abundantly clear I like the situation I have. I am more than happy to stick it around here. Minnesota. Oh, what a chance in front. Oh, big time save by Campbell as Zumwinkle. And one you don't want all alone in front of the net like that.
Not right now, that's for sure. This one comes off a turnover, and this has been a bit of a problem for Vancouver throughout this season. It's taking care of pucks and trying to make a middle pass. The middle pass is to the wrong team. Minnesota is able to pounce. Zumwinkle just right there for that nice low feed as she throws that one on net.
Turnovers have been an Achilles heel for the Goldeneyes this season. Morin.
It was a back and forth against New York, wasn't it? But New York a little more irresponsible than Vancouver was with their turnovers. But I don't suspect you're going to get that out of Minnesota.
Shot from the point. Morin was a rebound. Yes, free and easy hockey might be fun for fans, but not for coaches, right?
No. Well, and there's a reason this is a 2-time Walter Cup champs. They tend to be pretty good in their own zone.
Absolutely. Puck sent all the way down the length of the ice, and we've got golden confetti streaming down.
Yeah, we got something coming down here. Some sort of a, I don't know, is that a giveaway of some sort?
No, what happened? Yeah, misfire, stretch pass, great feed by Jakes up the center ice. Kanisheva dumps that one in. Rooney will play that behind the net. Just over a minute to go here in the first period.
That's what Vancouver hasn't had in a while. As they said off the top, they want pucks in deep, but they haven't been getting them in deep.
Bell pounded by Heisey. Gardner sends that one in. Back behind the net. Gardner cycling. Gets it back to Bell. Puts it on net. Rebound in front. Shot. Blocked. Another chance. Kanisheva in front. And we're going to get a penalty coming up here. A hooking call.
And then also, now this leaves you with 3 forwards on the ice to start this penalty kill. Steckline, you can see it right there, reaches a little bit around with her stick, gets it up into the hands. So she's to the box. It's an opportunity for Vancouver, who got the power play going last game.
Good clear. And great pursuit here by Katie Knoll down the ice. As this power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel Paper Towel. Scrum in the corner. Here's Claire Thompson. She'll go for a skate with it. Up to Hannah Miller. Miller stays on side with Boreen. Down to 15 seconds. Nurse to Miller. Back down to Nurse. To Miller in front. Oh, put it just wide. What a chance. A little give and go. Here's Thompson. Tees it up for Miller. Miller on the back end. Lost that, and that'll do it for period number 1. Coming up in the first intermission, we'll hear from an absolute sparkling star enjoying life with the Goldeneyes, Mannon McMahon, and much, much more here on the first intermission. The Minnesota Frost, they are back at home on Wednesday, March 25th at 6 o'clock local time. They host Montreal. What a game that should be, and a potential battle for first at the Grand Casino Arena. And you want to get there early. It's the first 4,000 fans will receive an exclusive Barbie Frost collaboration belt bag. So get your tickets now at minnesotafrost.com/tickets.
How long can the three-way tie for first place last?
Well, the bubble might burst this week. You've got some big games. You've got Vancouver and Boston this week. You've got Montreal, Minnesota going head-to-head. I think it might open up this week. There's a shot just wide of the net. Big blast by Channel Watkins there. Kept in by Bell.
Start to get the feel, though, that those three teams have really separated, that it's going to be a battle for that last spot.
Oh, yeah. And then it kicks into the Golden plan after that. And speaking of which, the Patty Kazmaier Award was handed out today. In front. Oh, McMahon just out of her reach to pull the trigger there. Tied up by Heisey. Good defensive work. Benisheva back with it. Back to the line. Joe Smith puts it on net. That's deflected as Meiksna knocked it down. Cooper. Great conversation with the Jackson Jills ladies earlier in the intermission. There's Gabby Rosenthal. Blocked by Joe Smith. Tried to keep that into the line, but Noel pushes that up to center. We did a very unscientific poll as to who would be the first overall pick in this summer's draft. I'll tell you what, it is wide open right now, Becky, depending on who you ask.
It's wide open. It's two players. It's Murphy or Harvey.
But who that is,
it seems to be a real
split
amongst coaches as to who they would take if they had the opportunity.
Neutral zone. Minnesota's so smart, so confident with that play in the neutral zone. Something Brian Adelski very mindful of for the Goldeneyes today. They cannot afford to make those turnovers. Here's Bizzle. Pushes that one back in. Pearl Salemi in pursuit. Back to the line. Here's Morin. Morin dancing around, trying to shake a check. Bouncing puck in front.
That's a good shot from there. You're going to create, you're not probably going to score, but put that one off the blocker and let it drop out front.
Lauren hammers that back in. Joe Smith leaves that. Here's Sarah Nurse. Great move. She's tripped up, but still clears the zone.
She cut to the middle of the ice. She got to the middle. Minnesota's taken away the wall a couple times on these exits.
Here's Bard. Up to Nurse. Leaves that for Izzy Daniel. Daniel moving around. There's another Kazmaier Award. 5 members of the Frost and Goldeneyes have combined to win the Patty Kazmaier Award. Sophie Jakes, another defender, the last defender to win it.
Every Patty Kaz winner from 2014 on is in this league. And then 2012 would be a coach in Green and Becker.
Here's Miller. Shot! Blocker stop. Jakes back up with it. Takes it in on the offensive attack. Puck knocked away, centering feed. Nobody home. Bell regroups at center. Quick feed over to McMahon. Shisheva battling for it with McMahon. Frost with it. Looking to go the other way. Intercepted by Jakes. Good shift here by Sophie Jakes.
That's a good read.
She'll go off for a change. Back of the line, Bell. Channel Watkins puts it on net. That goes off a leg, off Benisheva. Gets it right back to the point. There's Benisheva trying to untangle her way through a flurry of Frost members. Here's Heisey down the left side. Leaves that for Noel. Noel on the backhand. Tries to tuck it out front. Campbell, hang on. Leia spent the vast majority of the first 6 minutes of period number 2 in the Minnesota end, but here we go.
Good stick to take that away.
Vancouver hemmed in until they just cleared the zone. Behind the net, Buckbinder, the lone goal scorer here in this one, on an absolute beauty. Pearl Salemi across the line. Tendorova tied up by Rosenthal. It goes back to Steckline. Steckline, Buckbinder, band on that. Gives Meiksna a chance to play the body. Jakes in a battle for it with Pearl Salemi. Good pursuit there in the forecheck. Backhander, a little light. Picked up by Thompson. Panic in pursuit.
Jake stopped moving her feet on that one. Not sure why. She had Pearl Salemi right on her heels.
Sent right back in. First one there is Upson. Miller with it. Kept in at the line. Morin lets it go. Stopped by Campbell. Rebound wide of the net. Jakes gets it over. Here's Hannah Miller with some steam through center. In on the attack now. Trying to get around Bizzle. Daniel leaves that for Bard at the line. Morin.
That's a tough play for Bard on the wrong side, but a nice smart play by Daniel to let that go.
Here's Daniel on the backhand. Centering feed, intercepted. And that clears the zone. Zumwinkel in a race for that one. Daniel. Long lead pass for Jen Gardner. Thrown right back out. Joe Smith plays that. Up to Gardner. Here's Izzy Daniel. Long shift for Izzy. Shot. Glove save made by Rooney. Frost continue to lead it by 1 here in the Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver.
Coach, I know your team is still looking for their first goal of today's game, but they have gotten some great chances. Your thoughts on those chances so far?
Yeah, I think we're doing a much better job of managing neutral zone, getting pucks deep. Forecheck looks good, so hopefully we keep that up here in the second.
I know you said getting pucks deep and easier said than done. What more do you want to see from your team in terms of creating those chances?
Well, Minnesota's super good in the neutral zone, and they feed and transition super fast. So the more we can win the neutral zone, I think we give ourselves a chance to play in the O-zone.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, this has felt much more like a chess match here, Becky.
It has, and I think it's the way you have to play a team like Minnesota. They're so offensively potent that you got to lock things down as much as possible. And you don't want to trade chances with them, that's for sure.
Man tried to send that out in front off the skate, out of harm's way. Here's Katie Noel. She's got Himmler. Shishima in front for Heisey. What a chance there. Heisey now with 7 goals on the season.
Noel does a really nice job coming in, just protect the puck and make that little pop play. Give them a 2-on-1.
Got a 3-on-2 here for the Goldeneyes. Kind of slowed it down. I think they were just looking to get a change here.
Sometimes you get those opportunities. You want to take it while you can, and you'll change one at a time afterwards. I'm not sure they recognize the advantage.
Yeah, a little slow moving there.
Yeah.
Jakes was going to the net before that was intercepted. Oh, look at this, a stretch pass here. Jaguar pushing out in front. Jaguar's a fascinating story in terms of where she's kind of played and where she's gone. Played at Clarkson, Minnesota Duluth, 2020 Kazmaier winner.
An unbelievable college career. Hasn't translated yet. She's getting an opportunity now.
Jakes with a shot, blocked in front. Budarak sacrificing her body as Jakes can grip it and rip it. Daniel, cross ice feed, broken up. Miller still gets it over to Jakes. Jakes going to the net, in front, shot, stave! Oh, what a stop by Rooney! Best chance of the night there for the Goldeneyes.
Sophie Jakes with a couple opportunities, but this one she gets herself into the middle of the ice. Taylor Heisey with a chance at the other end on a nice entry from Katie Noel. She's alone in front, not the player you want to give too much time and space to. Has talked about how hot she's been. Maddie Rooney's down and out. Well, there's the reason Anna Miller ran into her as she cut across. Sophie Jakes with the best chance so far this period for Vancouver. She gets to the middle.
Vancouver buzzing. Still nothing to show for as they've outshot Minnesota 11-10 right now as we are at the midway mark of period number 2. James Cebulski, Becky Keller, Chantel Chan bringing you all the action. Intercepted by Breen, but still leads the zone. Gabby Rosenthal back to play it. Rosenthal played at Ohio State. Came to the rink, repping some of the Ohio State merch this morning, along with Jen Gardner.
Ohio State, Wisconsin again in the national championship.
Salemi shot, kick save made by Campbell. A rebound. Himlerova, she goes sprawling down, unable to pull the trigger. Breen flips that one up down the ice. A couple of grade A chances for the Frost.
Well, maybe this is the key right now, is clearing out the rebounds, because nobody's been able to get a stick on one of them. That one pops right out front. But a player that, I mean, they haven't skipped a beat without her, but they miss her and her speed, her ability to get on the forecheck, and then the points that she's produced this season as well. And I would imagine leadership too.
Well, when she does show up, it'll be almost like a deadline acquisition. You know, with a stud to step into the lineup like that. Here's Shahina. Scored her first with the Goldeneyes back on Wednesday, and what a goal, the toe drag, and then a little top cheddar.
She got the skill. I think maybe she could have put that last one on net. That pass wasn't there. There's been a few chances, I think, so far in this game that maybe Vancouver could have opted to take the shot. They're looking for that pass.
Well, you know, and listening to the pregame interview with Kelly Paddock, what did she say? Coming into the season, she wanted to be more mindful of just putting more pucks on net, and it's worked out. She's got 11 snipes already.
Well, she says, lo and behold, right, you get a few bounces. Well, of course you do.
Look at this. Gardner streaking through. She gets hauled down. Vancouver's going to get a power play. And there's the whistle. An opportunity for the Goldeneyes to equal things up here with 8:56 to go in period number 2. Gardner going hard to the net, keeps her legs moving. Vancouver going to work next. Vancouver on the power play. Another Royale Tiger Towel, paper towel power play. Here we go. Sarah Nurse, centering feed, intercepted by Zumwinkle. She sends it down the ice. Vancouver 1-1-4-9 when allowing the first goal. Tell you what, if there was ever an opportunity to get back into this one and try to change that narrative, this power play could be it.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, they've held this offense at bay for the better part of, you know, a period and a half right now in Minnesota, who, like I said, 4 goals in the first against Ottawa.
Salemi, great pursuit here on this penalty kill. Takes the puck right off of Claire Thompson. And flipped right back down. Campbell handles that, leaves it for Thompson. Vancouver getting almost 28% of their offensive production from their back end, and a big reason for that has been Jakes and Thompson. Centering feed with nobody home. Here's Thompson going back to work. Here's Miller. Tried to find Nurse. Shot by Jakes. Deflected back to the line. Thompson with it. Thompson goes for a skate. Over to Jakes. To Miller. Shot! Rebound in front! Oh, how did Rooney see that to stop it?
Hannah Miller does a nice job to get that shot through as well. That's a good low shot.
Vancouver's got another 30 seconds to work with. Jakes, Bell, Gardner, Daniel, and McMahon out there. There's McMahon with it. And we're going to get another penalty coming up here.
Rooney with a couple of big saves. This was the best chance on the power play. Hannah Miller gets that shot through. Abby Maureen is on the doorstep where she does some of her best work.
Number 12, 2 minutes.
So Jen Gardner in hot pursuit to try to get this puck back on the power play. She takes the tripping call.
It really is remarkable to see how this community has embraced from a merchandising standpoint here at the PWHL in Vancouver this opening year here. Becky. Here's Moray. Poked away, but still kept into the offensive zone here for the Frost. Heisey at the line. Stays in. Panic throws it over. Thompson sends that one out. Rosenthal tied up by Moray. Panic to help out. Vancouver gets some fresh legs out there. Steckline picks that one up. Down to a minute to work with here on the power play for the Frost, already maintaining a 1-goal lead with 6 minutes to go here in period number 2. James Cebulski, Becky Keller, Chantel Chan bringing you all the action from the Coliseum here in Vancouver. Frost in transition. Centering feed for Batherson. Nobody there. Miller comes up with it, sends it down the ice, and Nurse will pursue that.
I think they were in good position. That pass was just off.
Here's Batherson to Curl Salemi. Throws that one behind the net. Thompson picks that up, intercepted by Zumwinkle. Shanna Watkins battling for it. Centering feed, right on the doorstep. Scramble for it, no one there. McMahon comes up with it and sends it down the ice. And that'll do it for the power play for the Frost. as Gardner's back out onto the ice.
Vancouver might have gotten away with one because they turned the puck over in the corner to bring Zumwinkle, and then a little bit of chaos ensued.
Here's Izzy Daniel. Daniel, centering feed, blocked away. No shots on goal on that power play opportunity for the Frost, despite that chaos in front.
Well, I think that's exactly what Vancouver has to do. Daniel just threw that one to the front of the net. She's got 4 white jerseys surrounding her, so you're not making a play there. So the best you have is to put pucks on net.
Rosenthal with it, battling with it, with Knoll. Another scrum for it, as Milarova's in there. You can just hear the stick work battling along. Back to the line. Gazelle couldn't handle that one.
Katie Knoll with a good battle though below the goal line. And she's on this Taylor Heisey line. I've liked what she's done here. She gets into the corner. She goes to the front of the net. She knows her role there.
Here's Rosenthal. She's been noticeable this period. Put in front by Jakes. Perrine back with it. Ben Klee raved about his time with Perrine here in Minnesota. Here's Thompson. Centering feed. Nobody home with a tip in.
That puck got through to Thompson, but Peyton Henderson was looking to pick that off at the top.
Thompson again to Jakes. On net. Blocked. In front by Budarak. Strong shift there by Abby Perrine. Unlucky bounce as it frees the zone. Dumped back in. Rooney leaves that one. 4-puck find with a lone goal scorer on this one. Miller almost forced the turnover. Pushed up ahead. Jakes battling for it. There's Miller helping out. Another battle for the wall. Down to just over 3 minutes here in period number 2, as this period has gone by quickly. On the backhand. Rosalemi. Stretch pass in front for Himlarova, just out of her reach. Big hit along the wall. Here's Panic. Back to Steckline. Steckline throws it on net. Off the chest of Ashton Bell. Here comes Izzy Daniel now. Pushed up ahead to Miller. Quickly turned aside by Morang. And shoveled back down the ice by Himlarova. Bell leaving that for Nurse. Steckline back to play that one. Feels like a real chess match at the moment. Here's Heisey. Cutting to the net. Steckline puts it on net. Off a shin pad in front. Here's Vanisheva. Looking for help. She's tied up. And Shisheva battling with her one-time teammate. Here's Jen Gardner now. Gardner tried to pull the trigger but was tied up. Shisheva now. Looking to go the other way. Big collision. Knoll and Channel Watkins. Big time hit. We're going to get a call here. Olive, who is celebrating her 100th birthday here, Becky, and she came to a Goldeneyes game to celebrate her 100th birthday. A century years old. And here she is.
She's waited 100 years to see professional women's hockey. She got to a game and said the only nurse she wants to see is Sarah.
Becky for the win. This is why she's got the 3 gold medals, everybody. Here's Vanisheva. Vancouver short-handed right now as the Frost go to work on a power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel Paper Towel. Looking to extend their lead, holding a 1-goal lead. From the side of the net, shot. Looking for that short side by Chris Pye.
I think she had that side open as well. Campbell hadn't gotten to that post yet. She put it on net.
Here's Batherson. Onside, Zumwinkle. Cooper. Batherson. Back to Cooper. Lets it fly. Shot. That goes off, I think, the shoulder of Campbell and stayed out. Just over a minute to go here in period number 2. Carl Salemi lets it rip. Just a little high. Kept in at the line. Shisheva. Down low. Shisheva. Back to Panic. Panic's got Morang. Morang at the top. Down low. Panic. Back to Morang. Lets it fly off a body. Thompson tries to jump on that. Kept in. Moran again. To the side. Panic. Cutting to the net. Scores! Off a deflection in front. I think Panic's going to get credit as the Frost take a 2-goal lead with 30 seconds to go here in period number 2.
Well, when you're hot, you're hot. Kelly Panic was looking to make the pass on the back door. This one got deflected. Went 5-hole, so she's able to beat Campbell, but I don't believe she was trying to throw this one on net. She was looking for the backdoor play. She's able to walk in. Right now, everything she touches goes into the net. That one goes off. Vancouver defender. She's trying to make that pass. Hits a stick. Bobbles into the 5-hole, so off Claire Thompson's stick.
And a 2-goal lead for the Frost. A backbreaker for the Goldeneyes. Oh, look at this. Buckbinder tripped and fell and still was able to get a great poke check on Nurse to get out of danger.
Little desperation stick swing.
Wow. So another power play goal for the Frost as they're now 2 for 3 on the afternoon. Heisey feeds that one over. Buckbinder wide of the net.
She's going top shelf again. Had some success there, so that's Bookbinder's shot.
We're going to hear from Professor Puck, but we're also going to hear what the person who opened the scoring of this one, Natalie Buckbinder. Speaking of that awesome shot, that's how it's coming up. End-to-end action in this one through 40 minutes, but the difference, 2 goals for the Frost as they lead it on the road here inside the Vancouver Pacific Coliseum. Puck has just dropped here in period number 3. James Cybulski, Becky Keller, Chantel Chan bringing you all the action here inside the Coliseum on a gorgeous day in Vancouver. Great crowd here. Hannah Miller on the attack. Tries to get that one back to Izzy Daniel. And Taylor Heisey with the pursuit. Both goals coming on the power play for the Minnesota Frost. And we got a penalty coming up here quickly, just seconds into the frame. And Vancouver's going to get an opportunity to put that third period offense to work here, Becky.
On a team that has scored a lot of their goals in the third period, so this is a big opportunity for them.
Katie Knoll, toss with a sin bin. Let's get the official announcement.
Minnesota penalty number 6, 2 minutes. Perfect.
There was a time to ignite this power play. Now is it. Claire Thompson with Hannah Miller. Miller puts it in front. Abby Barine and Sarah Nurse out there in front as well as the Frost send it down the ice, and they'll get up and get their proper penalty-killing personnel.
Hannah Miller, I think, just looking for that high tip out in the bumper position, high slot. Just playing quite well into the net.
Here's Jakes off the wall. Great stick here by Morin to intercept that. And Zumwinkle will send that down the ice.
Listen, they got in a battle situation right along the wall, and Vancouver just a little too slow to come in and help. A real split second to outnumber on those situations, try to get the puck back.
Right here.
Thompson, cross ice speed, nobody home. Morin off the boards and down the length of the ice. So a sputtering power play through the first 45 seconds here for Vancouver.
Just a little disjointed. One of the biggest things on a power play, too, is that you're going to be willing to outwork the penalty kill.
Vancouver operating at just 8.3% coming into this one. On the power play, here's Manna McMahon with some steam. Gets it back to Michelle Carbonen. Very limited minutes for Carbonen here this afternoon. Carbonen from the point, blocked. Great play by Himlarova. And Carbonen with a soft touch, and Himlarova will intercept it and send it down the ice.
Carbonen does a nice job to reload high, but then takes a little too long to get that shot off, so it just gives Minnesota an opportunity to get back in the shot lane.
Carbonen. Back to Bell. Bell up to McMahon. She's got Gardner and Daniel with her. Here's Jen Gardner. Gardner moving to the slot. Shot in front. Rebound. Oh, what a save, Maddie Rooney. My goodness. Oh, there is your save for the week. That was a wide open net.
I think Izzy Daniel thought she had all sorts of time to deposit it into the open cage, so she was softing it in there. She didn't put it in with any oomph, and Maddie Rooney, my goodness.
Maddie freaking Rooney. Wow. Here's Benisheva. On the wraparound attempt. In front. Oh, skate save. Rooney again. Coming off her first shot of the season the other night. She might might be on her way to another here with 17 minutes to go in the third. No, I didn't just give her the announcer, Jake Seiler. Here's Meissner. Vancouver just one shot on that power play. Oh, how did that stay out?
Just as we had said in intermission, James, that Vancouver hasn't had a lot of grade A opportunities. They get two. Matty Rooney shuts the door on both.
Here's Zumwinkle. Waiting, looking. Here's Morin. Tees one up, shot wide of the net. That was a howitzer.
You don't get the time to do that very often.
That's picked up by Burak. Here's Jaguar. The backhand dumps that one down low for Peyton Anderson. Neither fourth line seeing a ton of ice time here, Becky, this afternoon.
No, the fourth line for Vancouver, about 3 minutes coming into this period. For Minnesota, only about 5.
And offside the call. One too many moves by Nurse at the line.
Well, we got to take a look at these saves again, because these ones are going to be game savers. Shot from the outside. That puck just pops in front to Izzy Daniel. Looks like she's going, you know what, I got the whole cage. I'll just set it in there. But no, she won't. Maddie Rooney comes across desperation with the paddle. What a highlight reel save. And then a toe save again on the wraparound opportunity.
We saw one earlier this year. Remember, it's Mashmeyer at the other end for Vancouver. And there you go, Maddie Rooney. There's been a few beautiful stick saves like that. Gwyneth Phillips had one, yeah.
They're going on the end of the year highlight reel pack for the goaltenders.
Wow, Rooney quickly becoming the story in this one. Daniel chips that down with Channel Watkins. Izzy comes up with that one. Up to Steckline, intercepted by Nurse. Here's Nurse, pursued by two members of the Frost. And Nurse overskated that one. Imlarova tied up along the wall. Izzy assisting to come free that puck. Here's Steckline. And that's the Goldeneyes. Regroup with a fresh line change. Centering feed just out of the reach of Kurl-Salemi. Here's Panic. She's knocked down by McMahon. Battle for it along the wall. Joe Smith. Back to the line. Batherson sends that one deep. Sydney Bard. Chips that off the glass. Kept in. Great play by Cooper. First round pick in this past summer's draft. She's lived up to expectations so far, Becky. Great a situation for her to jump in with this team.
Oh, yeah, and you get the opportunity to get lots of ice time as well. Things have really been shaken up with the expansion.
Jakes floats it on net. Turned aside by Rooney. Cooper. It's amazing these last few days. So many people around the league still, everybody hot stove and wondering, where's this league growing to next? Is it going to be 2 teams? Is it going to be 4 teams? Where's the cities?
Lots of questions, lots of speculation.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting.
In a good way, though. It's fun.
It is fun. I would imagine the cities that are in contention really want the answers because a lot of excitement.
Shoveled backhander by Rosenthal. A loose puck. And Zumwinkle will come up with it. I think you and I are both on the Denver train, right?
We were there, and it was some couple great crowds in Denver. Some really good games there as well to showcase.
Sent down the ice. Barry first to get it. Shot. Put it short side.
Sophie Jakes with that play, and you got to think there's intent in that. Maureen was breaking to beat out the icing.
Burak played 6.5 minutes here in period number 3. Still 2-0 Frost in front. Marine knocked off the puck. Oh, look at this. Anderson, as she was falling, couldn't really pull the trigger on all of it.
Well, you got a fourth line with lots of energy. Like you said, they haven't had a whole lot of ice time in this game, but really good shift. Peyton Anderson, who's sat the 1-game suspension, back in the lineup, gets herself a chance.
Buckbinder stretch pass up to Jaguar. Jaguar tried to put that one to Shisheva. Here's Heisey. Heisey going for a skate. Tried the wraparound. Back with it. Oh, she's got some space here. Lets it go. Shot. And handcuffed by Campbell for the save. Maddie Rooney keeping the Goldeneyes off the score sheet by any means necessary.
Only 7 games this year she's been without a point. 5 of those came in the first 6 games.
And she didn't score her first of the season until late December.
A slow start, and then she just hasn't slowed down since, though.
Here's Shisheva. Intercepted by Miller. Back at the point. Kept in. Here's Heisey on the spin around. And put it just wide of the net. Speaking of the devil. Jakes made a move out of her reach. And kept in. Here's the Frost. Really turn it up. Heisey tried to sneak that one down to Noel. Intercepted. Here comes Vancouver. Jakes down the right side. She's got Daniel with her. Daniel in on the forward check. Wonder if she'd love a redo on that backhander on the power play.
You know she would. Woo. You know she would.
Here's McMahon hustling for that one. She's got Gardner out there with her along with Benisheva. Collision at the line. Back the other way. Himlarova making a move on the backhand, sprawling. Pretty iconic goal, somebody trying on the backhand, sprawling in the air.
There sure is. I love the effort, though.
Yes. On the backhand, scores! They're on the board! The Goldeneyes cut the lead to 1! Manon McMahon does it again!
Well, she was very good in the game against New York, and she just built on it in this game. She's had a couple of chances. She puts this one in the net to get Vancouver on the board and going. 11 minutes left here in this frame after they give up a bit of a scoring chance going the other way. Start putting pucks to the front of the net. Good things happen as McMahon comes in. High slot late. Jen Gardner, one move. McMahon on the backhand. She goes shelf. She makes no mistake. There's a little mustard on that backhand shot.
Now buckle up. 11-11. Someone's thinking about you. Lots of time as the Goldeneyes are on the board, and this building has new life. Manon McMahon benefiting from that good luck interview charm with Chantal Chan at the end of the second period. And here we go. Here's Gardner. One-on-one with Cooper. Takes it to the corner. Down low for Benisheva. Here's Sumwinkle going the other way, down the right side. Tracked in front, bouncing puck. Campbell keeps it out. Rosenthal battling for it behind the net. Along with Abby Hustler. Job Smith digging in there as well. Officials let him play. And puck finally freed up. Tied up once again. Freed up one more time along the wall. And it skips through a couple of Frost members. And down the ice it goes. Peyton Anderson pursued by Anna Meixna. Oh, and it skips over and back the other way. Here comes Claire Budarak. In front, centering feed blocked by Claire Thompson. Good defensive play there. Here come the Goldeneyes. It's Perrine and Thompson. Thompson going to the net. Wrap around, tried to tuck it in front. Nobody there to poke it in. Oh, what a chance.
Oh my. Thought maybe she could have pulled the trigger a little sooner, but she had a little space there. Vancouver getting awfully close.
McMahon's third of the season from Gardner and Benisheva makes it a 1-goal game. And she has scored in back-to-back games now for the Goldeneyes. So some of that secondary scoring coming back here for a Goldeneyes team that has the second most third-period goals in the league this year. As that's turned aside by Campbell. Into the corner. Taken by Daniel. Daniel has got Channel Watkins with her and Miller. Trying to put it over to Ashton Bell. Nobody there. McMahon back on the ice.
Anna Miller does a really nice job just to back the D off.
Here's Gardner. Shovels that to the corner for Benisheva. Benisheva cutting to the net. Knocked down by Heisey. Two big bodies there. Bard finds that one under feet. Pushed up to McMahon. Down to 8:23 to go here in the third. We got a tight one now. Benisheva gets it back to the point. Joe Smith to Bard. Bard lets it fly. Deflected. Oh, pad save by Rooney.
That's a good deflection. That puck was off net.
We got a game now, boys and girls. Here we go. Karvinen behind the net.
Not so sure there wasn't a bit of a hold there behind the net either. I think the fan base wanted it. Not going to get that call.
Here's Kelly Panic for Curl Salemi. Shot! That went off Panic and into the corner. Pushed up ahead. Knocked down by Buckbinder. Sends that one right back in. Bard will play that one.
It's gotten fast and furious in here over the last couple of minutes.
Business is picking up with 7:30 to go. I love it. Buckbinder at the line. Push that down deep to Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle to Morang. Warren behind the net. Oh, the wraparound attempt. Rebound shot. Oh, what a chance there for Vanessa Hudson. Bannon McMahon has given the Goldeneyes life. It's a 2-1 game. Crunch time is next. From that blockbuster trade a couple of months ago with the Ottawa Charge, Vancouver desperately needed to get faster, Becky. Ben McMahon is making that happen almost single-handedly.
Yeah, she's got some speed and plays with speed, and I think that's two different things to look at. You've got players that are just fast, but then you have players that recognize how to play with speed, getting time and space at the right time, putting pucks ahead, going in, pursuing them. So some of the things she does really well, and he brought a lot of energy to this Vancouver squad.
They're having fun in the Coliseum here this afternoon. Here's Sarah Nurse. Nurse looking to change this game on a dime.
She's got to the middle a few times. I think she could shoot from there.
Here's Daniel. Knocked down, kept in by Bell. Nurse again. Whistles it on net. Deflected with Daniel going hard to the net.
Well, that's the idea. She saw Daniel coming in from the side. Just trying to hope that you can get a tip on that puck.
Zumwinkle had that one intercepted by Bell, and Bell is kind of hooked down to the ice, and they'll play on, much to the dismay of this boisterous crowd.
Well, that one looked like it was up in Bell's hands. She couldn't really do a whole lot with the puck.
There's Claire Thompson going for a skate again. Dangling through, now on the attack for Miller. Miller, wrist shot blocker, stopped by Rooney. Down to 6:07 to go. 3-on-2 for the Frost. Pushed in front. Nobody there. Miller backhands that one up to Sarah Nurse. Just out of the reach of Jakes. Both sides getting some fresh bodies out here. It's crunch time now in the Coliseum.
Anna Miller's had a whole pile of shots this game. I think something will drop for her eventually.
Vancouver put themselves back into the playoff conversation with a huge win on Wednesday night against New York. And they'd love to close out this 5-game homestand with another W before heading on the road for 4. In front, Karvinen had that one deflected high, but she goes and gets it behind the net. Karvinen again, trying to shake Cooper off her. Mike's not giving chase as well. And here come the Frost looking to go the other way. Curl Salemi down the right side. Dumps that one in. Campbell to play that, leaving it for Bard. Job Smith with it. We're down to 5 minutes to go here in regulation. 2-1 Frost leading. Here's Meiksna. Meiksna shaking off Panic in front. Feed goes off the stick of Karvinen. And the Frost will go for a change with Batherson in on the forecheck. Here's Channel Watkins, another member, former member of the Minnesota Frost. She got hooked up, and they'll play on again.
You watch this Minnesota team right now, though. That's 4 players through the neutral zone, making things difficult. So they are tracking back, recognizing, listen, defending a 1-goal lead with less than 5 minutes, so going to be stingy defensively.
Here's Cooper. Fans exercising their democratic voices here. Here's Thompson. Up ahead, Benisheva to Nurse. Nurse has Daniel as well. Backhand feed, nobody there. One too many passes here this afternoon for the Goldeneyes.
Well, they're looking for the drop, and I think right now it should just be a drive, and get it to the front of the net.
Pushed again, Miller out of the reach of Nurse. Moran back to play it. Tries to get that up to Hustler. Benisheva in on the forecheck. 3:35 to go. Moran pushed up. Jakes kept it in as Hustler took a spill on the wall, and Rooney putting on a performance here this afternoon. Let's bring it in. The moment of the game presented by DoorDash.
What a save. This game is 2-1, and it's 2-1 for a reason, because Rooney made an unbelievable save on Izzy Daniels. She came across with that paddle. We could be looking at a different game here, except, wow, that's a highlight reel. Rooney, what a save.
To steal a line from an iconic television show, that's a paddling.
Listen, you said to me, Beck, you like goals, but I like saves like that too, James. I gotta say, anything that's highlight reel is fun.
DoorDash, proud fan and official partner of the PWHL. Oh yeah, we're having fun. This has been a awesome third period. Lots of action here. We're like a month away to the playoffs here.
I know, it's coming quick. It's a 30-game schedule, and you forget that sometimes, that you get into the last 10 games. Still got a third of the season, but it's coming fast.
It's coming fast. Here's Thompson. Look at that. Campbell's already gone to the bench here with over 3 minutes to go here in the third. The extra attacker for the Goldeneyes. Sent down the ice. Blocked by Thompson. Jakes with it.
3 minutes is a lot of time. It's getting pretty liberal with it, but I think the situation dictates that maybe it's the right idea.
Coliseum in a sing-along move right now, and they would be next level if they can get another goal to even things up with the home team here this afternoon. Down by 1, and Campbell back out onto the bench for the extra attacker now. Vancouver with a 6-on-5 advantage as the crowd sings a little Mamma Mia, and they're going to get a massive Mamma Mia if Miller can finish. That goes off a bucket. Someone might be very familiar with Ryan Adelski. Anna Seghetti also part of that team. Here's Thompson off the draw to Jakes. Down low to Benisheva. Benisheva lets it fly in front. Knocked down in traffic. A rebound. And Carl Salemi pushes that one out to center. Just over 2 minutes to go. Himlerova giving pursuit. As Thompson a little dangerous. Dropping that back for no one until Miller grabs it. And here comes Hannah Miller.
I think that's Thompson's game. Being a little risky. She's all right with it.
Rolling down the length of the ice. Is it going to go? Salemi. Much to the dismay of the Goldeneyes fans, Carl Salemi will likely ice it as she scores to make it 3-1.
That's going to do it for Vancouver today. They're going to have to score pretty quickly if they want to stay in this one. Minnesota battles this one out now. It is a race. Salemi gets a little bit of body position on Sarah Nurse. Uses that shoulder, drives to the inside, gets her stick on the puck, and finishes it off.
Carl Salemi with her 9th of the season. That's 21 points and counting now. Credit Carl Salemi. The empty netter. Make it 3-1 as Campbell goes back to the empty net.
That's a difficulty when you're playing against Minnesota, is how many weapons they have.
Here's Zumwinkle. Centering feed. Vancouver all in on that. Time not on Vancouver's side now. Daniel with it. Pushed up to McMahon. A lone goal scorer for the Goldeneyes this afternoon. Pushed up ahead. Here's Jen Gardner. Gardner. Shot. Oh, right off the pipe. Put that high off the bar.
Little deflection.
Vancouver's had their chances this period. Jakes, the Channel Watkins, puts it on net. Off McMahon, rebound, and Rooney hangs on.
Jen Gardner, she takes a shot. It's a bit of a deflection and it goes off the post. So once again, Vancouver coming just that close. This time they beat Rooney. Doesn't beat the post though. This one posted out. They're doing a better job though to get pucks through and traffic in front to battle some in. They got another shot from the middle of the ice on a point shot.
I think a little more north-south play would have benefited them a little sooner.
Yeah, I think there's times where they could have driven to
You've seen that. Abby Marine.
Katie Knoll, they're both going to go to the penalty box. That was a healthy hack.
That's like a lumberjack hack, or a lumberjill hack, I guess, in this particular case.
Minnesota, number 6, minor penalty slashing. Vancouver, number 22, minor penalty slashing.
Okay, watch to the left of your screen here.
Just off the face-off, circle on the hash marks, and one little touch and then another. A little tap, a little hack.
All right, face-off here to the left of Rooney. Miller loses that draw to Heisey. Battles along the boards, kept in by the Goldeneyes. Off the glass and down the ice, and that'll pretty much do it. Off the post. Shishima would have loved that one as time is expired, and the Frost continue their winning ways with a 3-1 victory over the Goldeneyes this afternoon at the Vancouver Pacific Coliseum.
Minnesota just showed exactly why they're a contender and have been for the last 3 years. They've got the goaltending. They come up with the big save when they need it. They get the goals when they need it. The power play starts ticking. So, I mean, this is a team that is difficult to play against. Vancouver is not playing bad hockey right now. They're just not finding ways to win outside that game against New York. So, so the clock is ticking right now. Down to 9 games. They're going to have to come up with a lot of wins.
As for the Frost, they continue to find W's after a 5-0 shutout win over the Charge on Wednesday. They hold Vancouver to just 1 goal. And so another W, and they've got a huge one coming up Wednesday at home against the Montreal Victoire. Chantal Chan speaking with the Woman of the Hour, Maddie Rooney.
Maddie, you made a big save after big save. One of your biggest saves was when you robbed Izzy Daniels in the beginning of the third period. Do you remember that? Can you walk me through that save?
Yes, I think I was on my butt too many times today, but that's hockey sometimes, and I was lucky to get a paddle on it.
Now, you've kind of been on a tear as well as of late. In the last game against Ottawa, you had a shutout. Today, you only allowed 1 goal. How confident are you right now in between the pipes?
Yeah, things are going well, but honestly, it's just the team's playing so well right now. Last 5 goals last game and 3 today, so it's honestly just the team's doing great.
Now, obviously, you talked about the team playing really well. This is the team's 5th straight win, and when we talk about peaking at this point of the season, how important is that?
Yeah, momentum is huge going into the last 9 games now, so it's great that we've been able to get 5 wins and hopefully carry it into this final stretch. Thank you.
Well, it was a great crowd this afternoon at the Coliseum to see the 2-time defending champions, and they lived up to the expectations of champions here. Natalie Buckbinder opened the scoring. It was physical. All sorts of opportunities. Kelly Panic getting her 12th of the season as well. Manny McMahon made it a game, but Maddie Rooney was a difference maker as Minnesota wins it 3-1. Good night from Vancouver.